An adult who lives in Douglas County has died from hantavirus. State health leaders say this case has no connection to a recent outbreak on a cruise ship. That strain can spread from person to person, but CDPHE says this is a different strain, but it's one we've seen in Colorado before. It's called Nombre hantavirus. Colorado has recorded 132 cases of it since 1993. 47 of those were fatal. There were 4 cases in Colorado in 2025 alone, and prior to this Douglas County death, the most recent death was recorded in 2024. The state health department says preliminary evidence suggests the latest case came from local exposure to rodents. Unlike the Andes virus linked to the cruise ship, the Nombre hantavirus cannot spread from person to person. In Colorado, deer mice are the most common source, and spring and summer are peak seasons for the virus. 9 News medical expert Dr. Pyle Coley says if you spot rodent droppings or a dead rodent, there are specific steps you need to follow.
What the CDC recommends is that you ventilate the area for about 30 minutes before you even get started.
You should also wear protective gloves and clothing if you do see any of those droppings. CDPHE says the risk to the general public remains low and the investigation is ongoing. Health officials say do not sweep or vacuum rodent droppings if you see them, as that can spread the virus into the air. Tina Peters will soon be a free woman. Yesterday, Democratic Governor Jared Polis commuted her sentence, saying she'll be eligible for parole next month. It's someone President Donald Trump has pushed for months. The Republican former Mesa County clerk is in prison for her role in allowing unauthorized access to her own county's election equipment in an attempt to uncover evidence of election fraud. 9 News anchor Kyle Clark was in Mesa County yesterday with reaction from around the state.
Tina Peters went looking inside the voting systems here in Mesa County for proof of President Trump's election rigging claims. She committed crimes in the process, but not enough, Democratic Governor Jared Polis said today, to warrant Peters being locked up any longer than the 1 year she served on her 9-year sentence. Governor Polis, Tina Peters has repeatedly, hundreds if not thousands of times since her crimes, talked about how she is not the least bit remorseful. But now she's written on a piece of paper that she's remorseful. Do you believe her?
This is where you have to be very careful. I don't think that she's remorseful for the opinions that she has or her belief in conspiracies. There might be 1 or 2%, even more of the population that believes things that are like that. The answer to that is not to put them in prison for what they say or for their beliefs.
Tina Peters wasn't convicted for her speech, but her crimes. Yet a judge had been ordered to re-sentence her for referring to her speech when she was originally sentenced. Polis jumped ahead of that to set her free, against the wishes of a bipartisan group of county clerks who said that freeing Peters will make their jobs running elections harder and less safe.
We'll do everything we can to keep our employees safe and secure, and hopefully that the political climate does not become violent.
The Republican DA who put Peters away says she humiliated their community, and the governor doesn't get it.
I mean, look at this beautiful place we live in, and having our county's name drugged through the mud for years. It really shows that he's not in touch with what we went through.
Democratic Attorney General Phil Weiser says freeing Peters will not stop President Trump from continuing to punish Colorado.
I believe this action will make Colorado more vulnerable to coercion, to bullying, and to harm from this administration.
Tina Peters will leave prison as she entered it, as a star and a martyr of the movement to overturn American elections through claims of election rigging. She may thank President Trump for squeezing Colorado until she got out, but it was one man, Governor Jared Polis, who set her free. In Mesa County, Kyle Clark, 9 News.
Turning our eyes to the sky, Jaden Knowles coming in to tell us a little bit about the weather ahead, and it sounds like it's going to be a little bit of a rocky day.
Yeah, a little dicey out there, Janelle. Good morning to you, and good morning to everyone out there. So far, heading out the door this morning, temperatures on the warmer side, a very mild start. And look at our temperatures already in the low 60s as well as the low to mid 50s across the entire state. We're seeing the low 50s for the eastern plains, 30s and 40s on the high country, the upper 60s for the western slope. Live radar, there is a couple of isolated showers out there, mainly over towards the higher elevations, and even a little bit of mixture of snow there, but for the most part, we are nice and dry, but not for long. We are expecting some isolated showers and thunderstorms that has the potential of becoming severe later this afternoon. So the next 12 hours, noticing we'll get up to the low 80s. 81 degrees is what I have forecasted as a high. But as I mentioned, we are tracking some severe weather, the threat possibility. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a severe thunderstorm watch for this afternoon. But so far, noticing we have that level 1 risk, including the metro area, level 2 for the eastern plains, even a level 3, an enhanced risk for the northeastern portions of the state. We'll talk about that timing of when you could possibly see some stronger storms and even the hazards of hail and maybe of a spin-up tornado towards the eastern plains. We'll break all that down for you later on in the show. Janelle?
Thanks so much, Jaden. The Weld County GOP chair is facing charges stemming from accusations he tried to buy sex from a minor. The Larimer County Sheriff's Office announced the arrest of 24-year-old Hunter Rivera last night. They say he was taken into custody Thursday during an operation targeting child predators. The Sheriff's Office says investigators posed as minors selling sexual acts online, and Rivera was one of 2 men who went to the agreed-upon location. Rivera now faces several felony charges. As he awaits his court date, party officers in the Weld County GOP are calling for his resignation. In a statement, they said they'll follow their bylaws and remove him as those allow. House and state Republicans echoed the call for him to step down, calling the charges, quote, sickening, horrifying, and beyond reprehensible. Colorado State Patrol is working to figure out what caused a deadly crash on I-25 in Douglas County yesterday. The crash happened on the northbound side of the interstate near Happy Canyon Road just after 1 p.m. Friday. It involved 3 cars. CSP says a 31-year-old man from Aurora died at the scene. A 58-year-old woman from Castle Pines was hospitalized. We don't know the extent of her injuries. CSP is asking anyone who witnessed the crash to reach out.